Morning, he did it to Graham Gooch and he did it again there to Tim Robinson, looking to play it away on the leg side.
Lawson picks up 3. A beautiful delivery, no footwork at all from Tim Curtis, just moved across the crease slightly, beaten by the good line, the good length and the cutback. And you can see there that Curtis hardly moves his feet. The ball through the gap, back goes the off stump, maybe a bit of pad. He's clean bowled for 22.
And that's worth a shout. Yes, he's got him with the quicker delivery, and that was a poor shot from David Gower. He made his mistake in the length, picked it as one that was a bit short enough to pull. It wasn't. It hurried on, and there was never ever much doubt about that decision. That's a terrible shot from Ian Botham, and Trevor Holmes has picked up his second wicket. 2 very ordinary shots.
Trying to dispatch Trevor Holmes out of the ground, bowling a lovely line. A little bit of spin and both of them taking the risk. It didn't come off.
.146 at T England, and Robin Smith on 77, Jack Russell 1 for Australia. 2 successful bowlers there. Jeffrey Lawson took the first 3 wickets. He had 3 for 40 from his 17 overs, and Trevor Holmes has struck twice in the session between lunch and tea. He has 2 for 18 from 8. Once again, Terry Alderman very steady. His 14 overs just costing him 24. Merv Hughes, he's banged a few in short, got them jumping a little bit, probably overdone the short stuff a bit, with none for 41 from 13 overs, and Stephen Waugh none for 23 from 6 overs. But the England batting, well, there's only one way to describe 90% of it, and that is poor. The 10% that was excellent was Robin Smith's. Let's have a look at some of that good batting from Robin Smith.
It's beautifully played. He hit that with tremendous timing. Fraction short, a fraction wide. Glorious shot. Smith drives, shot of the match so far. Glorious cover drive, 4 runs. Now hooked it away in fine fashion, just in front of square for 4. Slash, he gets it away. Good straight play, this guy. He's prepared to play shots if the ball is wide, particularly on the offside.
Thanks very much, Ian. Another fearsome cut stroke from Robin Smith. Smith perfectly happy to put those away. The Australians almost feeding him outside that off stump.
That's a beautiful shot. Well, he's been an example to the other England batsmen. Unfortunately, they haven't followed it. Robin Smith with some fierce cuts, and he's played nicely off his pads. One very good on drive there when batting at the Warwick Road end. And I just think that Robin Smith has really applied himself extremely well. He's always very aggressive. He takes the challenge up to the bowlers, but he looks confident and he looks aggressive. As I say, he's been an example to the other England batsmen. Unfortunately, they haven't followed it, or they haven't been good enough to follow it. I'm not quite sure which is the case. But I think he's looked better and better with each test match. In a moment, we'll be back to talk classic catches.
You want to climb the mountain, you want to cross the sea. Nothing's gonna get in your way, you're feeling free. You got a friend you can depend on, no matter what you do or say. TIO is always there, helping you every day. You got the strong and friendly Territorian by your side. You can take all life has to offer in your stride. Hand in hand, smile for smile,
Whether you're buying or selling, talk to LJ Hooker.
Thank you, Mr. Hooker.
Tube Makers Metal Centre, taking metal supplies out of the Iron Age. The Silver Bar, the all-new fencing post, especially made for rugged Australian conditions. The tough tubular design means that Silver Bars are light and strong, making them easier to transport and easier to install. Silver Bar, saving you time, money and muscle.
That's why I choose the Silver Bar. I'd hang my hat on it.
Tube Makers, a metal-link company, forging the vital link between sales and service. Wherever you are, there's a Tube Makers Metal Centre near you.
Well, throughout this Ashes series, we'll be bringing you the Aquaglide Classic Catches competition. We picked out half a dozen catches during the Lord's Test match to include in our package. Let's have a look at those now.
And triumph for Merv Hughes. Once again, hostility there from the big Victorian paceman, and Kim Barnett goes.
Inside edge onto thigh pad, and David Boone dives forward to take the catch.
He's had a go at that one, and he's got him! He's got him!
Yes, this ball a little bit too quick for Robin Smith, trying to pull it away over square leg. Trevor Hohns lunging forward, taking a great catch.
Spot that one pretty well. It's going to clear fine leg. No. Well taken by Dean Jones. Brilliantly taken, and he pulls up just inside the rope. That was an excellent piece of fielding. Dean Jones taking a very good catch there to get rid of Neil Foster. He pulled up brilliantly. Oh, and what a great catch. Jeffrey Marsh in the gully. That is an Aquaglide Classic catch. That was really humming. And Swampy Marsh has shoved out the hands in the gully and pulled in a blinder. Boone diving forward. He's caught it, and umpire Blues says, you're out. So a very good catch there by David Boone in the bat pad position.
Yes, Jack Russell getting across the front of his pad. Booney up in the air, and David Boone getting well in for a great catch.
And a big shout there from the Australians, and he's been given. So Merv Hughes has got the wicket thanks to a very good catch there by David Boone, moving away to his left. That was extremely well taken. Yes, that's an excellent catch by David Boone. Kept the eye on the ball all the way. Well, that's a short list of our Aquaglide Classic catches. We've got about 20 in all. What you've got to do is list the final 7 catches that we choose in the same order as the Wide World of Sports commentary team. The lucky winner, the major prize, well, you'll drive away in the new Nissan Pulsar Q. It was voted the best small car of the year by Australia Magazine in 87 and 88. And the 1989 version has 4-wheel powered disc brakes, and it's backed by Nissan's 2-year, 40,000 kilometre no-cost warranty. There are also consolation prizes in each state, 5 of them in all, and that's a library of books worth in excess of $200. Some great cricket books there, and you'll certainly be able to improve your cricket library if you win those consolation prizes. Entry forms are available at the beginning of August from Wilkinson Sword Stockists, and for further information, call the Classic Catches info line 00555025. Entries close Friday 8th of September, and the winners will be announced on Saturday 16th of September. In a moment we'll come back to Old Trafford, where it was home for many years to former West Indian captain Clive Lloyd. We'll talk with him.
Food Saver keeps food as fresh as the day you caught, bought, hooked, cooked, sliced, diced, peeled, sealed, packed, stacked and stored it away.
Phone Food Saver on 008 011 555.
For a top night of foot-tapping live entertainment, don't miss Dennis Night on Tour in the Territory at the following venues: Pine Creek Hotel, Wednesday, August the 2nd, Catherine Workers Club, Saturday, August the 5th, and Jabiru Sports and Social Club, Sunday, August the 6th.
Out here, everything has to be strong to survive, especially vehicles. These days, there's no tougher workhorse than Nissan Patrol, or gutsier one-tonner than Nissan Navara. You don't give a 2-year no-cost warranty in this kind of country unless you build a damn good truck. Nissan know what they're doing.
That's Nissan know-how.
See Kettles Nissan, Wells Terrace, Alice Springs.
G'day, John. Hi, Mick. By the way, thanks for your advice on investing with TIO. No worries, John. Anyway, how's business? It's real good. In fact, I've got to expand, but I'm a little short on cash and I don't want to touch my investment. You want some more good advice? Sure. See TIO about a loan. Really? Yeah, TIO can provide finance for a wide variety of business and commercial requirements. Mick, you've done it again.
TIO Financial Services, putting your money to work for the Territory.
This week...
Gets a bit rough out here, Doc.
A clinic run to a gold mine.
Well, we haven't seen a woman in a while.
And when they do, all hell breaks loose.
When we blast, we blast. When we drink, we drink.
And when they fight, they mean business.
My boys will come through, all right, even if they've got to crawl on their bellies or claw that dirt with their hands.
But this time, their luck's run out.
Say that, we better move it. Come on, it's gonna blow. Come on, man. Come out of here.
What are they doing in there?
Somebody's got...
David! David!
The Flying Doctors.
7:30 Wednesday on Imparja.
They gave her the wrong anesthetic.
Monday night at the movies.
They turned the girl into a vegetable. They killed her and a kid, and you caught him.
He's battling for justice.
This case should never come to trial.
He's taking on the system.
Drop this, you understand?
It's a fight
They killed her.
that will make or break.
Well, the hell with it.
It's a case he has to win.
I can win this case.
Paul Newman in the movie premiere that's been acclaimed his best ever.
Tried to save
With Charlotte Rampling and James Mason.
Who are these men?
The Verdict. Monday night on Imparja.
Well, as I mentioned, Australian viewers will know him as Clive Lloyd, the West Indies captain. I guess a few of them around this area claim he was the Lancashire captain, Lloydie.
Yes, they keep thinking I'm well, not thinking, they know that I'm a Mancunian, really. A Lancastrian by heart. Yes, I do love the place.
The wicket, there was a lot of speculation. I think very courageous decision of young Peter Marin to use it for the first time in a test match, but I think it's played pretty well.
Yes, I don't think there are any devils in the wicket as such. It played very well. Didn't bounce that much. Turned a little bit, not that much again. So I thought it was a good decision to bat for us. There wasn't any terror. The ball, some of them kept slightly low, really, but not to the detriment of anybody, I would say.
I think it was a good decision to bat, but not necessarily the way some of them have batted. It's been, particularly those last two dismissals, a bit ordinary, weren't they?
Yes, I think it's terrible to see a fellow like Smith playing a very subdued innings. He's a good strike of the ball, and a real breath of fresh air for the England side of that. And he's struggling and playing well, and nobody to stay with him. I thought David Gower, their partnership flourished for a while. I thought that would have been the partnership that was giving England the launching pad for a big score. But he got out there again to a very bad shot.
It's difficult for a captain who plays like David Gower, isn't he? Because he, quite often when he gets out as he did today, it looks bad, and it's very difficult to go back into the dressing room, tell the other fellas to get their head down if you look like you've made a bit of a mess of it.
Yes, well, I think that's not the point. Is that he's captain. He's done a lot for England. So even if he's made a bad shot, he can still tell them, go out there and do it. You're playing for your country, and that should be motivation and so for anybody. So I don't think that the other players, because he's made a bad shot, that they should go and do the same thing. They're playing for their country.
Any thoughts on the way, on the reasons why England are, so down at the moment?
Well, I think, it's a situation where England, if they look at the other countries, like Australia and the West Indies, Pakistan, although they play one-day games, the games where they can have a long innings are the 4-day games. They don't have a 4-day competition here. And the 3-day games are like one-day cricket. So that nobody's getting a chance to bat for long periods. So I would think the introduction of 4-day games would be very, very good for England. Because if you look at the bowling, if England's got a bowl after lunch on the second day, they look very ordinary because it's alien to them. But it's not alien to a West Indian or an Australian because they do that quite easily in Australia or in the West. So it's obvious that I think they've got to rethink the situation. It's just too much one-day cricket, and even the 3-day cricket is played like one day.
All right, it's going to be Robin Smith on strike. He's on 77. Geoffrey Lawson, who has 3 wickets against his name, is going to be steaming in from the Warwick Road End, England 5 for 146. I guess you're not exactly crying with England heading to the Caribbean. You're probably not too bothered about the fact that England are playing poorly.
Yeah, but I still like to see good cricket. I think it's terrible that they have 300 and odd cricketers on show, and they can't get a very good team to sort of put up the type of performances that's expected of England. I think they've got a lot of young players, and I think now is the time to introduce them, because it's no use saying that they're good players and you don't give them a chance. They have about 4 or 5 of the players in this team that are not going to the West Indies or would not be touring. So now is the time to blood them, to see what they have.
Lawson to Smith. Your thoughts on some of those young players who you think should go to the Caribbean?
Well, I'm looking at there's a chap called Hussein from Essex. There's Atherton from here. There's a fella Haig from Lancashire, the wicket keeper. There's Robert Bailey, who's quite a good cricketer. So I think that they still have some good cricketers around, and young ones that are good enough to get in any side. They're making runs in the county championship, so it's obvious that is the launching pad. Let's see what they have by putting them in a test match.
Umpires once again having a bit of a discussion. Obviously that problem that was worrying Robin Smith before tee hasn't been sorted out, and it's still bothering him. One thing that staggers me, having played against England sides over many years and realised how hard they are to get out, how hard they are to bowl out, the fact that England lost 14 out of 15 test matches to the West Indies, with only drawing 1 out of 15, that to me is amazing when you think of fellas like Boycott, Edrich, Barrington, who were so damn hard to get out, yet these guys, they don't seem to really fight so hard for their wicket.
Well, that's it. I think it goes back to the same system. Boycott and Edrich and these chaps were brought up in a different era. They were brought up where there wasn't a lot of one-day cricket, so they learned the rudiments of the game, and they batted intelligently. They batted for long periods. It's very difficult these days. If a fella's playing county cricket and he makes 100, when he comes into a test match, you still iffy about him if he's going to make any runs. If Boycott or Edrich or Barrington, they were out of form and they made 100 in county cricket, you can bet your life that if they got into the test side, they would make runs. So that is the difference, I suppose. It's the standards that I presume is not as high. And there's too much of this sort of limited over situation. Fellas are playing shots when they should be consolidating and batting for long periods.
Just moving on to the Caribbean, I see Ian Bishop had a good series against India, bowled particularly well. I guess we weren't surprised after seeing him in Australia. He's a good prospect, isn't he?
Well, as I said, I think that if you have a young fast bowler, the best place to groom is in Australia. And he came through, he played some of the game, bowled extremely well. And he bowled for us at some very crucial times and did extremely well. So we're giving him the experience, and he's getting it. And I think he's probably one of our, our bowlers for the future.
All right. Lloydie, always nice talking to you. And I guess it's even a bit nicer talking to you at your old home ground here, Old Trafford. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, back to the commentary team now, and Bill Laurie.
Thank you, Ian Chappell, the great Clive Lloyd, still loving the game of cricket. We're seeing a very ordinary performance here today by England, apart from Robin Smith, but a great performance by Alan Border and his team. They've grabbed every opportunity with both hands, apart from one chance that Marsh put down early on. They're applying the pressure as Lawson steams in from the Stretford Road end. The breeze over his right shoulder. Little Jack Russell, he must wonder what it's all about, Jack Russell. He's been under pressure every time he's come to bat in the series. He showed a lot of fight and common sense, one of the more sensible of the lower order batsmen, Jack Russell. And as we see Terry Alderman limbering up, it's almost like a summer holiday for the Australians. It's all falling into place. They're disciplined, they're playing with confidence. And England are in a lot of trouble at 147. Perfect conditions today. Bright sunny afternoon now, good for batting. The wicket possibly at its best as Lawson turns. Close, very close. Yes, he's out, plumb in front. Lawson gets 4, having a wonderful test match. Russell shuffling across, trying to work it on the onside. A ball of full pitch, plumb in front. And Jack Hampshire puts up his finger for the first time in this match. LBW to Lawson goes Russell for 1. And it's now 6 for 147.
With a song
The day after Cameron took delivery of his new Nissan Pintara, he started singing out of pure joy.
I'm touching your heart.
Because he didn't have to worry about Pintara's price ticket or running costs. And the Nissan 2-year no-cost warranty struck a particularly happy note. New Nissan Pintara, the no worries family 4.
No worries.
That's Nissan know-how.
Not adjust your television. We control the vertical. We control the horizontal. We are controlling your Saturday morning entertainment. You will enter a new dimension with these two earthlings as your guide. There will be music, hit music. There will be laughs, big laughs. Brace yourself for Saturday Morning Live. They're out of control and they're coming your way this Saturday.
John Embry makes his way to the wicket because Jeff Lawson has trapped Jack Russell plumb in front. Lawson now with 4 wickets for only 41 runs.
Very close to leg stump, that delivery from Lawson, but John Hampshire usually likes to see them plumb in front before he gives them out. Gives them out Australian style, the hand way in the air. No doubt in Jack Russell's mind he's got to leave the field. England 6 down now for 147, and their innings once again in total disarray. I wonder when the tail enders are going to have a day with their feet up while the England batsmen do their job. It doesn't look as though it's going to be in this series. And now John Embry on strike to Jeff Lawson.
He just offers the pad and a little bit of bat as well. The end of a fine over, 6 for 147. England a little bit unlucky, I guess, today. The 2 LBW decisions a little bit doubtful. Robertson's could have been a fraction high. As a judge plumb in front for a duck when Lawson was bowling from the other end. This time, Jack Russell, you have to judge whether the ball actually pitched in line with the weak stump. Well, with the naked eye, that looked to me to be pitching just outside the line of the weak stump. It certainly struck him plumb in front. Umpire Hampshire had no trouble at all in putting the finger up, but maybe Russell just a little bit unlucky. Batsman out, Gooch 11, Curtis 22, Robertson a duck, Gower 35, both of them a duck, and Russell 1. In between all that, Robin Smith not out, 78. Taking guard as he faces Trevor Holmes with a slip. Short leg, backward point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket in a deep backward square leg. Trevor Holmes, the leg spinner. Getting plenty of work, and it's great to see on the first day of a test match, Bob, the leg spinner in operation.
Yes, beautiful, Bill. We thought the art of spin bowling had died in this country, and now we have the Australians with a leg spinner, and England actually including 2 spinners in their lineup.
Uses his feet and drives well fielded by Trevor Holmes. And out the back of the tents where all the social activity goes, the band's playing. They'll always be in England. 6 for 147 England on the first day of the 4th test match. Robin Smith having a good look at Trevor Holmes, who was beaten outside the line of the off stump just before the tee break with the ball that went on with the arm, the top spinner. Taylor at first slip, Boone at legs, short leg for the bat pad, the attacking fieldsman for Trevor Holmes. Well fielded by David Boone. He's had a great summer at short leg. Not an easy position to field.
A real bonus for Alan Border, for Trevor Holmes to pick up 2 wickets, and now he can afford to have these close fielders in, even to a man like Smith, who's moved on to 78.
What's interesting, Bob, too, he hasn't gone overboard with the field. He's got a regulation offside field. He's got protection on the offside. He's got the Jones at point, he's got a backward point, a cover and a mid-off, so he can throw the ball up. The batsman the opportunity to drive. Smith does that, knocked down by the bowler, just a single. It's 148 for 6. Old Trafford. England struggling, 6 for 148, 79. John Embry yet to score, the non-striker's end. John Embry's not a fashionable cricketer, but he's a fighter. He's playing in his 60th Test match. His highest score is 75 versus New Zealand. He's got a pretty good average for an off-spinner in the lower order, an average of 21. He does value his wicket, not with style, but with courage and determination. That's what England need at this stage of the Test match, to fight. To do a genuine guts and determination. And John Embry against Australia's done better, Bob. He's averaging 24.91.
Yes, John Embry enjoys playing against the Australians. He's playing in his 24th match against them. It's nearly 600 runs. Twice got past the 50 mark. The highest score on the 86-87 tour, England's most recent tour of Australia, 69 at the SCG.
England's batting is crumbling. One man stands alone, Robin Smith. 96 at Lords, could have made 100 on debut there for his Test career. Made 96, was bowled by a beautiful delivery by Alden, and he just tried to hit it slightly on the onside. But here today, he's played a magnificent innings. Hasn't been tied down, played his shots. Watched in dismay as his partners have fallen to some pretty ordinary shots, particularly after lunch.
That's right, Bill. You can excuse players getting out in the pressure cooker of Test match cricket, but really the strokes that Gower and Botham played in the situation England were in, with Smith in the side and playing well, 70-odd not out, it really does make one dismay about some of the senior players in the side and their resolve to do the job they've been picked for.
2 slips to gully for Jeff Lawson. It's been a great performance by Jeff Lawson. Alderman's been the star in the first 3 Test matches, but here today, Lawson's hit the stumps twice, 2 LBW decisions. He's been right at the off stump, making the batsman play. He's got the odd ball to move off the seam into the right-hander. This follows up 6 wickets for 30 his last outing against the Counties. So Jeff Lawson in top form.
A much more controlled exhibition of fast medium bowling from Jeff Lawson.
The pitches here today courtesy of the BBC. That's the over bowled at 6 for 148. Trevor Hones continues. Jeff Lawson makes his way down a deep backward square leg. Now a silly point coming in for John Embry. Dean Jones joins Mark Taylor and David Boone close in. Jones at short cover. Marsh at point. Hughes at cover. Alderman at mid-off. Full pitch, and he strikes it pretty well down to mid-off. No run. David Gower won the toss, went to bat on a very good batting wicket. Top spinner, Embry well forward.
It's tremendous to see the spinners taking a front role in the proceedings. Got so used in Test match cricket to watching the medium pacers and the fast bowlers pound in all day. We really do miss a lot in cricket if the spinner isn't on view.
Particularly when they can't pick him, he makes a mess of them. Trevor Holmes today has bowled tidily, picked up the 2 prize scalps of Gower and Botham. Hasn't played a lot of Test cricket, only has 9 Test wickets to his credit, Trevor Holmes. It's a quicker delivery, and Jones almost rushing in from short cover. Smith 79, 9 fours. Embry yet to score. Tremendous pressure on England. Well bowled. The flight, bowling to a beautiful breeze. The breeze now almost straight down the ground into Trevor Holmes' face. Nice at you, southerly now. Start off with the southwesterly direction. It's a very good over. Almost a Peter Sleep delivery there, where he bowled Embry at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 6 for 148.
Look out on those little old ladies sitting watching red. Talking about this man who share the best part of their day. It's outrageous. Who deserves to waste their time this way? Must be all those little old ladies sitting watching red.
6 for 148. Smith on 79. Embry yet to score. Beautifully struck, but straight to War at mid-off. Alan Border has used his bowlers beautifully today. He introduced Trevor Holmes before the luncheon break. Holmes has bowled 10 overs, 2 for 19. Lawson, a magnificent spell of bowling. 19 overs, 7 maidens, 4 for 41. Good support by Alderman, 14 for 24. Hughes, 13 for 41. And Moore, 6 overs, no wicket for 23. It's one of the few bad deliveries in the spell, going way down leg side, and Healy does well.
A rare blemish, the fine bowling performance by Jeff Lawson today. In the earlier test of the series, we saw him spearing the ball a lot down the leg side. That's a very odd exception to the rule today. His line around off stump has been much better. When Gower was in, he was able to attack him on the leg stump if he wanted to, with the man positioned fine round the corner of leg slip.
Jeff Lawson's taken 15 wickets at 29 in this series so far. And one considers his last 2 tours of England were disastrous. A big fast bowler for New South Wales. He struck back beautifully, giving Alderman great support. It's been a great team effort, not only with the bat, but with the ball so far this summer. Alderman, Lawson, Hughes, and now Trevor Holmes as well, chipping in with valuable wickets. He's done a great job, Alan Border. He's given them all the opportunity to perform, and they haven't let the skipper down. And Smith looking a class above the others.
Robin Smith has matured with every innings. He's enjoyed this series. Unfortunately, interrupted by injury. He missed the last Test match at Edgbaston. He's got a good temperament. He and his brother Chris, who also plays for Hampshire, great practices of the art of batting. Long periods in the nets together. If they get hundreds, they usually make them big ones.
Yes, I guess Smith does need a Test 100. 96 at Lords, 60 at Headingley. He's got away to good starts. This could be by far his greatest moment if he can save England or get them to a respectable score of 250 plus. And look at that may turn in the final days, but England placing themselves in a very awkward situation here at 6 for 148 on the first day, when conditions are at their best. Good over from Jeff Lawson at 6 for 148. Welcome back to Old Trafford, the home of cricket in Lancashire. The members stand, the members, good crowd in. Trevor Holmes bowls a full pitch and John Embry almost in slow motion pushes the ball away. Taylor at slip, Jones at silly point, Boone at short leg. Well bowled, he gave it plenty of air, and Hughes does well to cover, keeping Embry on strike.
It'll be fascinating to see how Embry chooses to play Holmes. He's another batsman that likes a bit of pace on the ball, to use his angled deflections. But with the leg spinner, he has to put the force of the bat on the ball, and it is rather alien to Embry's technique.
We've certainly got a job to do for England. To try and survive while Smith is still there. One considers the shots played by David Gower and Ian Botham. Really does put enormous pressure on the tail. Tail quite wide at slip. Healy, the wicketkeeper. That's definitely a Bobby Simpson placing where Mark Taylor is standing against the leg spinner. Simpson used to go quite wide to Richie Benaud and take some great catches almost at gully. Always believed he had time to move back to his left with his left hand for the orthodox nick. Good tidy over. A maiden, 6 for 148. Glorious England summer. Bright sunshine, warm conditions. The breeze has dropped slightly, this southerly breeze coming down the ground. And it's well bowled, and Smith almost drags that onto his stumps, and it's a good afternoon to Jeff Point.
Good afternoon. I'm not so sure it's a good summer if you're an Englishman. Haven't seen too much good cricket from England. I think that Ian Botham shot just about summed it up. I was walking round the ground. I said to a friend, I said, I'm looking forward to watching that on the 9 o'clock news.
A hard man, Geoffrey Boycott. Smith on strike. Robert Smith moves to 80. I guess, Jeff, we've found on many occasions, but wouldn't be game to play a shot like that, would we? Let's be fair.
Well, I'm actually looking forward when I see Ian Botham again. He's a big colleague and friend of mine. I want him to talk me through the 6 balls he received, and when the team is in real trouble at England, he's only had 6 balls, he's still on 0 not out, how he come to play that shot that he got out to. I'm really looking forward to what he says to me. It might be unprintable.
Jeff Lawson continues. Silly point now for John Embry. Well, for those who may have just went for a cup of tea, a little stroll if you're an England supporter back home in Australia, let's have a look at that dismissal by Trevor Hones of Ian Botham. There it is, it's well fighted. He dances down the wicket 1.5 pace, the head goes up and back goes middle stump. Botham bowled Hones for a duck. Jeff Boycott just pales even further in the commentary position.
I'm speechless. That was the Botham chassis, head up, 2 steps down the wicket, bowl for naught, with England in dire trouble.
6 for 149, England. John Embry trying his hardest to survive. Embry is a fighter. It's been a wonderful day for the Australian 11. England dressing room with Botham and Jarvis and Dilly. Jarvis and Dilly